The Dallas Cowboys are heading into the 2025 season with some intriguing developments on their offensive line, and a lot of eyes are on two young players, Tyler Gayton and Tyler Smith. Tyron Smith, one of the best offensive linemen in NFL history, has been opening up about what he's seen from both of these guys, and his insights provide a lot of hope and cautious optimism for Cowboys fans. Let's start with Tyler Gayton. Tyron Smith has made it clear that Gayton is a hard worker who wants to improve, but he still needs to fine-tune his technique. That's a big deal, especially for a rookie tackle who has to deal with the mental challenge of slowing down this game. Football moves fast, and it's easy for young players to get caught up in the speed and intensity, which can cause mistakes or hesitation. But according to Tyron, Gayton is figuring that part out. He's gaining confidence as he learns more about how to approach his position. It's not just about raw athleticism or strength. It's about understanding the nuances of the game and the fine details of blocking, assignments, and footwork. Being a first-round pick, Gayton already faces high expectations. That's something he has to manage mentally. Tyron says it's important for him to not lean too much on those outside expectations, but to build a strong internal drive, a mindset that pushes him to be the best. Not because someone else demands it, but because he demands it from himself. For an offensive lineman, that mentality is crucial because this is a league that rewards persistence, technique, and consistency over pure physical talent. Tyron even shared that he's told Gayton he wants him to be better than he ever was. And it's encouraging to see a young player motivated by that kind of challenge. Looking beyond just words, the actions back up what Tyron has been saying. Gayton has taken steps to get his body in better shape. He's focused on eating right and improving his training regimen. That kind of dedication off the field often translates into better performance on the field, especially in a sport as physically demanding as football. The Cowboys coaching staff, including Duke Manny, who works closely with Gayton, and Tyron himself, have praised his effort and care during this offseason. They've noticed how he's committed to being better, and that's a promising sign for his development. Now, it's important to be realistic. Football is a brutal sport, and not every player who works hard ends up becoming a star. Sometimes injuries, mental blocks, or just the pace of the NFL level can derail even the most promising careers. But so far, Gayton has shown everything you'd want to see from a young lineman trying to grow. Sure, the pads haven't come on yet, so we can't fully judge his performance in game-like conditions. But the fundamentals appear to be on track. Tyron isn't saying Gayton will suddenly become a top 5 tackle this coming season. That's a big leap for any second-year player. However, what he can control, his technique, his preparation, his mindset, he's handled well. Still, if there are doubts about his ability to take the next step, that's fair. After all, Gayton's rookie year wasn't exactly stellar, and skepticism is natural. So for those fans who are questioning his progress, the question remains, where do you rank your confidence in Tyler Gayton from 1 to 10? The expectation is that Gayton will start at left tackle this year, and like any young player in a critical position, he'll have ups and downs. But the key thing to remember is that he is very much a developmental player at this point. He's not at the level of Zach Martin, Tyron Smith, or even Tyler Smith when they came into the league. In fact, some would say that what we saw from Tyler Smith in his first year is closer to what we should expect from Gayton. And that's not a bad thing. It just means the growth curve is steep. One of the biggest areas Gayton needs to improve is cutting down penalties. Tyron pointed out the importance of technique here, stopping bad habits like lunging forward or lowering the head too much. These mistakes lead to costly penalties that can kill drives and put the offense in tough spots. The issues with technique aren't unique to Gayton. They can affect any offensive lineman, whether on the left or right side. Switching positions probably wouldn't fix those problems. What he really needs is to get better at the fundamentals and avoid those mental errors. Realistically, we want to see a clear step forward from Gayton. We don't expect him to suddenly transform into a primetime elite tackle by his second year. But if he can show measurable improvement, reduce penalties, and develop his skills as a young left tackle, that would be a huge win for the Cowboys' offensive line. That kind of progress would certainly raise fans' expectations and provide a better foundation moving forward. Now shifting the focus to Tyler Smith, who's also working closely with Tyron, it gets a little confusing because there are so many Tylers in Dallas. Tyler Gandy, Tyler Smith, and Tyron Smith, but the key takeaway is that Tyler Smith is making steady progress under Tyron's mentorship. Tyron has highlighted that Tyler Smith has natural raw talent and strength. And like Gandy, he's learning to slow down the game to improve his technique rather than relying on pure physicality. This is a crucial adjustment that helps players last longer in the NFL, as technique is what allows linemen to maintain effectiveness as their bodies age. Tyler Smith has actually surprised some people with how much better he's been than expected early in his career. He did have a reputation early on for being a bit of a penalty risk, and he still struggles with that at times. But moving him to guard has helped mitigate some of those issues and has allowed him to develop more consistently. The Cowboys have made significant investments in the interior offensive line, and Tyler Smith is becoming a central figure in that new focal point. The entire offensive line needs to perform well this season, because if it doesn't, it will put immense pressure on both the offense and defense, making life difficult for the team overall. What's interesting is how the Cowboys have amassed a very deep and talented group of offensive linemen. This offseason, they've built a unit where almost every player either has draft pedigree or has real NFL experience. That kind of depth is rare in the league and should translate into strong preseason and regular season performances. With veterans and promising young players working together, the Cowboys' offensive line could be one of their biggest strengths heading into the season. At the same time, the uncertainty around some of the roster decisions adds an extra layer of intrigue. For example, Robert Jones, a free agent addition, has been mentioned as a potential cut candidate. But there are questions about whether that move actually makes financial or strategic sense for the team. Tyron Smith's input and the overall context suggest the Cowboys value continuity and depth, especially in such a critical area of the roster. So as we head toward the new season, the storylines around Tyler Gandy and Tyler Smith will be key ones to watch. Both are still in developmental phases, but show promising signs of growth under the guidance of a proven veteran like Tyron Smith. Their progress could be a major factor in whether the Cowboys can improve their offensive line and provide better protection and run blocking for their offense. Turning from the young Tylers to the broader landscape of the Cowboys' offensive line and roster decisions. One of the more talked about names lately has been Robert Jones. He came into Dallas as a free agent pickup, and almost immediately rumors started swirling that he might be on the chopping block. That kind of speculation can rattle fans, but it's important to dig into the details before jumping to conclusions. Jones's contract situation, his role on the team, and the Cowboys' overall approach to offensive line depth all play a part in understanding his status. First off, Robert Jones signed a deal that carries a $3.5 million cap hit. While that might seem like a substantial number, the real financial implications of cutting him are pretty minimal. If Dallas were to release Jones, they would save roughly $750,000 in cap space. Now, in the grand scheme of an NFL roster, that's not a game-changing amount, especially when you consider the dead money that remains on the books. The Cowboys would be left with around $3 million in dead money against their cap if they cut him. So the net savings of cutting Jones is quite small, meaning that from a purely financial perspective, releasing him isn't necessarily the best move. Jones was one of the first free agent signings the Cowboys made that offseason. Reportedly, alongside Javonte Williams, that early commitment typically signals that the team sees some value in the player, either as a contributor or as depth. Teams often prioritize their first acquisitions carefully because those players fit a specific need or philosophy. If Jones was a guy they wanted early, there's a good chance they believe he has something to offer, even if it's not as a day one starter. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In a development that has set social media ablaze and stirred whispers across the NFL, star wide receiver Amari Cooper was reportedly seen entering the Dallas Cowboys headquarters earlier today. While the team has yet to release any official Statement sources close to the situation suggest that Cooper's visit could be linked to a potential 4-year contract agreement with the franchise. The sighting has sparked a wave of speculation among fans and insiders alike, many of whom believe that Cooper could be on the verge of reuniting with the Cowboys in a deal that might reshape the team's offensive arsenal heading into the season. Though nothing has been confirmed, the timing is particularly intriguing. Training camp looms on the horizon, and locking in a proven playmaker like Cooper could send a strong signal about the team's ambitions. Whispers around the league suggest that talks have been ongoing behind the scenes for weeks, with both sides eager to strike a balance between financial flexibility and roster impact. Cooper, who played 4 productive seasons with the Cowboys before being traded, has maintained strong ties with several members of the organization. His familiarity with the system and undeniable chemistry with quarterback Dak Prescott only adds fuel to the speculation. Could this be a surprise move to bolster the receiving core and inject veteran leadership into a young offense? Or is it merely a visit between old friends, coinciding with the NFL's ever-turning rumor mill? With no official word yet from Jerry Jones or the Cowboys front office, fans are left to wonder, is Amari Cooper really coming home for 4 more years, or is this just another off-season mirage? One thing is certain, where there's smoke in Dallas, fire might not be far behind. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.